GGS Faridkot.
Good afternoon. I am going to present study on visual evoked potentials in posterior circulation ischemic stroke. Initially, a quick recap about posterior circulation stroke. It is defined as an infarct that occurs in the territory of the vertebrovascular arterial system. The two vertebral arteries join to form a basilar artery, which give off branches AICA and then basilar arteries PICA and the superior cerebellar artery, and then they go on to join the internal carotid through posterior communicating artery. So, the most common etiology of posterior circulation stroke is atherosclerosis or thromboembolic event of large vessels, which is followed by cardioembolic and hemorrhagic stroke. The most common intracranial site of atherosclerosis is basilar artery. Common presenting symptoms of posterior circulation stroke, they include vertigo, imbalance, unilateral limb weakness because of the involvement of the brainstem territories, slurred speech, double vision, headache, nausea and vomiting. If we go into anatomical findings, we have basically two territories of the posterior circulation, namely P1 and P2. In P1 usually there are supplies to the thalamic sites, and in P2 there is main involvement of the occipital system along with midbrain and pons. So the infarctions of the PCA territory are usually associated with homonimbus visual field defects, especially hemianopia. And also, if we go into P1 territory, there is involvement of the thalamus, then that may further will lead to thalamic syndrome, thalamic symptoms. Named most commonly, there is pain. The we have to also further we can calculate the PC aspect score. Now mainly the aspect score is was previously done for MCA territory, but it can be modified for posterior circulation by taking into account thalamus, midbrain, pons and occipital lobe. Therefore, PC aspect score is more sensitive for detection of early ischemic changes and prediction of functional outcomes. Now, if we come to visual evoked potentials, and what is the role of visual evoked potentials in PC stroke?
Come to the study. We are not discussing or lecturing on this. Come to the study.
Aims and objectives: to assess the visual evoked potential in patients of acute and subacute PC stroke, to describe the association between visual evoked potential and clinical profile in patients of acute and subacute PC stroke, to describe the association between visual evoked potential and radiological profile. What was the inclusion criteria? Patient presenting with acute and subacute PC stroke of less than 1 month duration, age is more than 18 years, both males and females. Exclusion criteria, namely here we have to exclude anything which can hinder our assessment of the visual evoked potentials. Severe refractory errors, history of surgery of eye or any confounding ophthalmologic lesion of vision, cataract, glaucoma, scar, chronic lesions like trauma, chronic neurodegenerative disorders and toxic nutritional causes of optic neuropathy like drugs and vitamin B12 deficiency. What were the results? First of all, if we see distribution of study subjects according to cerebellar signs, namely ataxia was most common with 17 patients out of 40 with 42.5%, which was followed by swaying of the gait. After that, if we see the distribution of study subjects according to visual acuity, because in PC stroke with the involvement of occipital lobe, there is the visual acuity is severely decreased. Less than 6/18, we see there is involvement of 26 patients and 22 patients in the right eye and left eye. And after that, we can say normal visual activity or more than 6/18 in 14 patients and 18 patients. After that, we have to see according to visual field examination. 25 patients had normal visual field examination and 4 patients had right homonymous anopia and 6 had left homonymous anopia. After that, if we see distribution according to area involved on CT or MRI, most of the patients had cerebellar or occipital lobe involvement. After that, according to NIHS score. Distribution of subjects according to VEP impression. Basically, we had 19 subjects who had normal findings, but 16 patients had bilateral P100 prolonged. What is P100? It is, for example, when we give stimulus to our eyes and both the electrodes are placed over the occipital lobe. So there is P100 latency, that the time from the retina to the cortex. Retinocortex latency is defined as P100. After that, we have amplitudes. So initially in visual evoked potential, we have a latency, that is the time to travel to the cortex from the retina. After that, we have to know what correlation between duration of stroke and VEP. In acute stroke, 14 patients had bilateral normal VEP, but 7 had bilateral prolonged VEP. And in subacute stroke, we had a total 13 patients of abnormal VEP. Correlation between area of stroke and VEP, most commonly cerebellar and occipital lobe were involved, with 6 patients in cerebellar and 15 patients in occipital lobe. Distribution as per correlation between visual symptoms and VEP, prolonged P100 was seen in 15 patients and normal VEP was only present in 6 patients in symptomatic of patients, and in patients where symptoms were absent, prolonged P100 was also seen in only 4 patients. So this was the basic, this was the concluding slide, where when the symptoms were present, 15 patients had prolonged P100, and when symptoms were absent, only 4 patients had prolonged P100. This was the sensitivity, specificity, positive predictive value and the negative predictive value. So now, in the right eye, if we see, if the visual acuity was less than 6/100, prolonged P100 was in 11 patients and normal in 3 patients. But in patients who had better than 6/18, we had only 6 patients with prolonged P100 as compared to 20 patients who had normal. Similar was seen in left eye. So discussion on ocular examination, 65 and 55% patients had normal visual acuity in right and left eye respectively, and visual acuity was abnormal in 35% patients. So the most common abnormality seen on visual examination was sudden fall in visual acuity, seen in almost 35% of patients, followed by homonymous hemianopia in 25% of patients. On radiological imaging, occipital lobe was the most commonly affected area in correlation to visual symptoms and signs. More than 70% patients with affected visual acuity and more than 50% with abnormal visual fields had prolonged P100. But on conclusion, the VEP did not show any superiority over clinical examination, but it was concluded that VEP had a highly negative predictive value, which can be used by clinicians to rule out any visual abnormalities which are often missed in patients of stroke. VEP did not show any over clinical examination but had high negative predictive value. So therefore, we have to rely on clinical symptoms. VEP can be used as a negative predictive value to rule out any visual abnormalities. Strength of the study is correlation that has been established between clinical file risk factor and different investigation modalities and functional outcome assessment in different patterns of infarction. Relatively less studies have assessed the association between VEP and posterior circulation ischemic stroke.
What does literature say about the visual potential in posterior circulation? Did you find any difference from the what does literature say?
Sir, in literature also there is it only says that the patients who are symptomatic will have abnormal VEPs in the form of reduced amplitude and prolonged P100. We tested the study if we could gain VEP over clinical features. For example, if clinical features are not present, if we can use VEP to evaluate the cases of PC stroke.
यार उसका यूटिलिटी क्या है भैया? अगर बंदे को तकलीफ ही नहीं है तो आप वीईपी क्यों करोगे? Basically, what you are doing, I don't know for all the paper presenters, except for one, the COVID-19 cases,
Sir,
study. These are already established facts. Any circulation which is affecting the occipital lobe are going to have the potential abnormalities.
Sir, this was done if the patient is having PC stroke,
Yes.
but he is not having clinical symptoms.
So why you do for evoked potentials? Still patient will be having either it is there or it is not there.
No.
The risk factor is the same.
No, sir. If the patient is having, suppose if a patient is having stroke, but he is not having clinical symptom, because the clinical symptoms of stroke usually in clinical practice.
It is having posterior circulation problem.
Yes, sir.
Any posterior circulation problem without visual symptoms or not may have, abnormal evoked potentials.
Yes, sir.
So, why do this study?
To check. Up to you.
मतलब यार आपके सीटी स्कैन एमआरआई में आ गया पोस्टीरियर सर्कुलेशन इफेक्ट है, तो विजुअल इफेक्ट है नहीं है. यूजुअली द इवोक्ड पोटेंशियल विल बी abnormal in posterior circulation, and if there are visual problems या symptoms, it will be definitely involved, affected.
Yes, sir.
So why do we study for established facts?
Yes, it gave negative predictive value.
नेगेटिव प्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी तो पहले है भैया. आप पोटेंशियल करोगे, सब कुछ करोगे, उसके बाद नेगेटिव प्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी है, वो पहले लिटरेचर बता रहा है पुराने 20 साल से. So do something new, like the COVID paper has been presented.
Yes, sir.
Don't go for already established fact. Do the studies, whether they are epidemiological studies giving us the perspective of Punjab or your region, Faridkot. Do prevalence of anemia. So that is going to give you perspective of your region, right? So it has a social impact, it has a public health impact. So you are finding something else. So try this. This is for all the investigators, young investigators who are doing PGs or they are participating. Do something new, whether it is epidemiological, it is anything. Discuss with your bosses what is the impact. Go for the literature. When the literature says this is normally present in 80% of the population, why go for that study? If it is in 20% of the population, go for the study. That in your population it was 40%. In their population it was 20%. So in Faridkot region it is 20% more than the Indian population.
पर सर अगर नेगेटिव प्रेडिक्टिव वैल्यू होगी तो हम उसे ट्रीटमेंट मिस नहीं करेंगे ना, मतलब
नेगेटिव ट्रीटमेट तो वैसे ही देना है यार. अगर स्ट्रोक हो गया,
ठीक है,
अगर नेगेटिव पोटेंशियल आपका नॉर्मल आ गया तो आप छोड़ दोगे उसको, एस्पिरिन, क्लोपिडोग्रेल, टॉर्वास्टैटिन नहीं दोगे? वो तो देंगे, तो फिर क्यों पकाई मारनी है यार? सो माय पॉइंट इज, गो फॉर द स्टडी व्हिच इज गोइंग टू इम्पैक्ट द थिंग्स. Already established fact, investigating already established fact is not going to help you, right? अपनी एनर्जी लगानी है तो किसी अच्छे काम पे लगाओ ना यार.